Hey, Kira Sherman here. I have a message today about the power of making a decision. And decision making, just so you know, I'm a mindset coach, I am an intuition coach, I'm a speaker, and I often love to talk about making decision. I know you guys have had videos about this before where you've heard me speak about the power of decision, but I want to speak about it in terms of like the simplicity of when there's an objection in your mind. Because a lot of times you may have a desire to do something and the thinking mind says, but I don't know how. Or it might say, I don't know if I can do that, or I can't do that at the farthest end of that spectrum. And so I want to give you something that you can take with you, that you can apply to your life. And it starts with a decision. A decision has the power to override that objection in the mind that says, I don't know how. Maybe you don't know how. Maybe in this moment you don't need to know how. Maybe the wisdom or simply the decision itself will give you the inspiration and ultimately creative ideas to implement what it is that you think you don't know how to do. But if you don't decide to start, you definitely can't. Like when the thinking mind comes in and says, well, I don't know how to, or I can't, you may not make that decision. Therefore, you may not actually get to experience that which you would love to experience. So it could be examples of this are like, I want to live a bigger lifestyle, or I want to, travel more. I want to be more present. I want to start or expand a business. Could be I want to institute more healthy habits. I want to live with less worry. Now, the thinking mind might say, well, what do you mean live with less worry? For example, is it probably the silliest example? It's like, well, I don't know how to do that. It starts with you deciding, I'm not going to worry anymore. Whether I have problems in my mind or I don't have problems in my mind, I'm going to choose not to worry about them, not to fret about them. I don't know how I'm going to live a bigger lifestyle, but that's what sits in my heart. That's what sits in my soul. So I'm going to decide, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but this is what I love, and I'm going to decide to live a bigger lifestyle. I'm going to decide to be more present. I don't know how to be more present. I'm going to decide to do it anyway. There was a study of CEO women that was done, I don't know, it was a long time ago that I saw it was like a daily show kind of thing, a morning show. And I was listening at the gym. And they had done this study. And actually, the study presupposed that these women CEOs felt confident. And what they realized in this study is that actually, as they were interviewing these CEOs, that they didn't feel confident. And so instead of saying like, oh, well, how do you make decisions, or, how do you get that confidence? The CEO women basically all kind of said, well, we don't necessarily feel that confident. They were like, well, how do you get anything done? How do you make decisions? How do you move forward with certainty? And they all, or many of them, all said the same thing, which was, we don't feel confident, but we decide to do it anyway. And in my experience of my own entrepreneurial journeys, I've started a restaurant, I've worked for a couple of different people running companies, and now obviously I run this coaching business, not Fortune 500 companies or anything like that, but in my limited experience of entrepreneurship, it's a similar thing, except in retrospect, the more that I have come to experience the experiences that I've gained through starting a business, through starting my restaurant, for example, I realized maybe later that I felt more confident. Like when I had never owned my own business, no, I didn't feel confident at all, right? But after I'd gone through several times of running businesses or starting a pop-up and then translating that into a restaurant, becoming a coach and running this business for over 10 years, then starting to be a speaker and doing that more and more. I didn't necessarily have the confidence going into it, but I did it anyway. And on the back end of having those experiences, I now feel more confident in starting a business. And honestly, I think that might be true of a lot of people. Maybe they don't necessarily feel confident until they do something. So, it is not important in my experience from a mindset perspective for you to even think that something is possible, to even believe that it is possible. But what you can do is make a decision anyway. I hope this is helpful. I hope you have a beautiful weekend.